I want to start by playing a song that I think in many ways parallels the struggle for human rights that we're in at the moment for asylum seekers, and that is the struggle of Indigenous people of this country for recognition and rights. Gather round, people, I'll tell you a story, an 8-year-long story of power and pride, of British Lord Vestey and Vincent Lingiari, two opposite men on opposite sides. Vestey was fat, with money and muscle, beef was his business, and broad was his door. Vincent was lean and he spoke very little. He had no bank balance, hard dirt was his floor. Sing it with me. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. Gurindji were working for nothing but rations, where once they had gathered the wealth of the land. And daily the pressure got tighter and tighter. Gurindji decided they must make a stand. They picked up their swags and started off walking at Waddy Creek. They sat themselves down. Now it don't seem like much, but it sure got tongues talking back at the homestead. And then in the town, all together. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. Well, Vestey man said, I'll double your wages, 18 quid a week you'll have in your hand. Vincent said, when I talk about wages, we're sitting right here till we get our land. Vestey man roll, Vestey man thunder. You don't stand a chance of a cinder in snow. Vincent said, if we fall, others are rising. From little things, big things grow. Vincent Lingiari boarded an airplane, landed in Sydney, big city of lights. And daily he went round, softly speaking his story to all kinds of men from all walks of life. And Vincent sat down with big politicians. This affair, they said, is a matter of state. Let us sort it out. Your people are hungry. Vincent said, no thanks, we know how to wait. From little things, big things grow. Join in. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. From big things, little things grow. Vincent Lingiari returning an airplane back to his country once more to sit down, and he told his people, let the stars keep on turning. We're friends in the south, in the cities and towns. Well, 8 years went by, 8 long years of waiting, and one day a tall stranger appeared in the land, and he came with lawyers, and he came with great ceremony, and through Vincent's fingers poured a handful of sand. From little things, big things grow. Make them hear you. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things was the story of Vincent and Gary, but this is the story of something much more. How power and privilege cannot move a people who know where they stand, and they stand in the law. From little things, big things grow. 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 Give yourselves a hand. Earlier this year, a friend of mine who has been very active about the Tamil human rights questions in Sri Lanka, as well as in Australia, approached me with a letter. And that letter was written by a man called Selva, who is a 34-year-old Tamil man who came to Australia fleeing persecution, and he spent 37 months in detention in Broadmeadows Detention Centre. And in that time, like many of the people who were detained indefinitely or prolonged periods, experienced a terrible psychological corrosive effect. He became depressed and he became suicidal. And he reached a point where he felt compelled to ask the Australian people in a letter, can you see me as a worthwhile human being? And a big part of the problem that we have is the way that people are hidden away, denied a name, denied a face. The media are not allowed to visit inside these places where people slowly get worn down. And fortunately for Selva, he's not in that detention situation. He's in community detention. But while he was in there, he and his fellow detainees cranked the following song loudly on the stereo because it showed them that there are people who care, and we need to demonstrate that care to people. This is called Song for Selva. My name is Selva Coolidge Elvin, and I'm fighting for my life. 37 months I've been held. I miss my child, I miss my wife. Escaped the clutches of the men with guns. Sri Lanka was my home. Australia put me in a prison camp. Now it's 3 years gone. Here they treat me like a worthless human being. Do they see me as a worthless human being? Well, they do not know. Officials here, they question me, say they want me to return. But how can I go back now when I've seen my people burn? It's hard to go on living when your future is denied. Years will wear you down, it's true. There could be one more suicide. So say I'm not a worthless human being, 'cause no one needs a worthless human being. My family need a worthwhile human being. We all need to know. My little girl wasn't even born when I crossed the raging sea. My daily voice on the telephone is all she knows of me. I hold a photo in my hand and I dream of a better time. have no crime. Can you see me as a worthwhile human being? Only want to be a worthwhile human being. Will you let me be a worthwhile human being? We all need to know. Thank you very much. And while this government makes the choice to spend billions in the pursuit of a political exercise, using people who have committed no crime as political pawns, holding them indefinitely without trial, there is a woman in Villawood Detention Centre by the name of Ranjini. And the crime that she seems to be held for is really being born in a war zone through no choice of her own. And people like Salva, people like Ranjini and their children could all be making Australia better. But at this point in time, Australia thinks that it's going to, or the Australian politicians think they're going to get more out of scapegoating innocent people than valuing them as human beings. This song is called Free Ranjini. Ranjini weeps 3 children at her side when the pain becomes too much to hide. Authorities claim she's a security threat, but time will prove them liars yet. The detention center at Villawood, they tried to imagine a life that's good. This could all be over, you must understand. The signature from the minister's hand. Ranjini, we have heard your plea. You're not a threat to this country. It's time to set you and your children free. Free Ranjini, free Ranjini. Pari was born behind the razor wire. Should be enough to raise this nation's eye. And Brandes in his cruelty would claim they only have themselves to blame. Malaysia says you could do us harm, but the only thing that raises my alarm is in hurting you so needlessly. How do we let a child suffer from PTSD? Ranjini, we have heard your plea. You're not a threat to this country. It's time to set you and your children free. Free Ranjini, free Ranjini. Listen to this one, Scott Morrison. How they held you without trial so long is a sign they can't tell right from wrong. The rule of law has been denied, but the man is standing by your side. Is it all we can offer a family in need? What does it say about us that you're still not freed? A life full of grief just will not do, so we send a song of freedom to you. With a bit of singing. The words are pretty simple. Ranjini, we have heard your plea. You're not a threat to this country. It's time to set you and your children free. Free Ranjini, free Ranjini. Sing along. Free Ranjini, free Free Regina. Come on. Free Regina. Free Regina. Come on. Free Regina. Free Regina. One more time. Free